Men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Do we say the same about our pet fish? As time goes by, we observe and discover various distinctions that set us apart from one another. This uniqueness that each of us have made it clearer as to why sometimes we don't always get along. And if you think that only humans behave like that, you're wrong. Just take a look at these clips of animals with different genders not having a good time with each other. See? They are all beautiful and peaceful until they have misunderstandings. I know you might be wondering, is it possible to keep a female and male betta together in one tank? The short answer is generally no. However, it is possible with the right setup. That will definitely be discussed in today's video. All you have to do is continue watching as Aquarium Store Depot has you covered. At first, it was thought that only betta fish belonging to the Betta splendens species could coexist in the same tank. Aquarium enthusiasts defied what was considered best practices back then. They added a variety of plants, inverts, and finally more tropical fish. Even while these betta combos sometimes resulted in dead fish, occasionally one would work out. With greater experience, hobbyists discovered which species got along with aggressive bettas and how to introduce them. Currently, betta keepers are going above and beyond the acceptable limits by attempting to house male and female bettas in the same aquarium for an extended period of time. So again, the question is, can we actually put male and female bettas together? Let's dig into the explanations. For a long time, it was believed that male and female bettas should only be kept together in the same tank for breeding purposes. While this is still largely true, a handful of hobbyists have had some luck keeping pairs, harems, and groups together in larger tank setups. But there are a few factors that go into determining whether or not these pairings will be successful. These include temperament, tank setup, tank mates, introduction methods, water quality, and finally diet. While some male and female betta fish live together with no problems, others are incompatible no matter what you do. In most cases, the male is aggressive towards the female, but sometimes the female can also be overly dominant. This aggression usually stems from an overlap in territories, breeding times, or the individual personalities of the fish. Whatever the reason why your male betta is attacking your female betta or vice versa, these fish should be separated as soon as possible. Also, female bettas can be just as aggressive as their male counterparts, so it's best to purchase related female bettas or ones that were raised together. The tank should also have plenty of swimming space, but be filled up with vegetation and hiding places that break up lines of sight. If anything, a glass or plastic tank divider can be used to separate these two betta fish without any risk. The first thing to consider when attempting a mixed betta setup is the size of your tank. Think about a betta's natural habitat. In addition to being small, betta fish live together in densely vegetative areas. The water is usually stained by tannins from organics with tons of kicked up sediment. Add in the plant life and visibility is greatly reduced. These same conditions should be replicated in a betta fish tank with plenty of live plants and structures that break up the line of sight between each betta. When keeping more than one betta fish together, you need to make it easy for territories to be established and later maintained. On top of adding lots of natural coverage and hiding places, lighting can be dimmed and organic tannins may also be added to stain the water in darkened conditions. Contrary to popular belief, adding additional tank mates can also keep male and female bettas calm as long as the tank size allows for additional fish. The minimum tank size you'll want to consider for multiple bettas is 20 gallons, with the 20-gallon long being the only viable option at that size. A 29-gallon or larger is preferred. Heavily planted setups are also recommended. Your chances of success will go up if you venture into 3-foot and 4-foot long setups. But let's go ahead and jump into the methods of introducing bettas to each other. How you introduce your male and female betta fish to one another will get you started on the right foot. Here are a couple ways to introduce these fish with varying success. Let's go on with the first one, introducing them all at the same time. This is the most agreed upon method for successfully introducing aggressive fish to each other. Putting all the fish together in the same tank at the same time allows for equal competition to establish territories. There's no opportunity for a dominant male or female to claim and defend their own space in the aquarium. Instead, every fish comes in stressed and then relaxes over time. Unfortunately, this method doesn't always work though. Naturally, some fish are bigger and more aggressive than others. This can still lead to outlying fish that get bullied and harassed by other fish. If using this method, be prepared to remove and rehome less dominant fish. Secondly, introduce additional fish over time. If you're not able to add all your bettas at the same time, then you might need to add them slowly over the course of weeks or maybe even months. This method can be more challenging than introducing all the betta fish at the same time, as territories and dominance levels are already established. Adding a new fish into the mix can upset hierarchies and make fish feel pressed for space, which can result in aggression. The best way to introduce new male and female betta fish to one another is by using a tank divider. This allows the fish to become familiar with one another without the threat to their safety. If your fish don't react well to one another's presence, then there's a good chance things won't go well once the tank divider's been removed. In addition to these introduction methods, there are other ways in which you can improve the compatibility between your male and female bettas. One way is to purchase related fish. Male and female betta fish that are related and have been raised together are much less likely to be aggressive. This isn't always true though, and aggression is still possible. This is especially likely to happen if mature male bettas are added with mature female bettas. When ready, a male betta will create a bubble nest in preparation to mate. This mating ritual can be intense for the female and has resulted in serious injury during or after the process. As we'll see, keeping male bettas from initiating the breeding process is safest for all fish involved. Another way to help guarantee compatibility is by purchasing a preformed Betta harem. Betta harems have become increasingly popular over the years as hobbyists have figured out how to make them work. These harems consist only of females, which reduces some chance of aggression. Don't be fooled though. Female betta fish can be just as aggressive as male bettas. No matter which introduction method you use, you should always be prepared to move fish to separate tanks if need be. Of course, whenever we keep fish like betta, they do require a healthy environment and continuous care from you. Alright, let's talk about the things you need to take note of regarding the water quality. In the aquarium, female and male betta fish are often moved to a separate breeding tank where conditions can be controlled to stimulate these rises in temperature. A separate tank also allows for easy removal of the female betta after mating is finished. Most times, these favorable conditions occur between 80 and 82 degrees Fahrenheit. In order to keep male and female betta fish from mating in the aquarium and thus increasing possible aggression, it's recommended to keep the water temperature slightly cooler at 75 to 78 degrees Fahrenheit. Other parameters should be held in their optimal range, with both ammonia and nitrite at 0 ppm, minimal nitrates, and pH between 6.5 to 8.0. Even more important is keeping these parameters stable. While temperature fluctuations influence breeding bettas, other parameter swings can also cause betta fish to initiate the process. Water parameters should remain stable through close monitoring and water changes. So, I know I mentioned plants, but how many do we need? We need lots of plants for this to work. Consider going all out with beginner plants like hornwort, Amazon swords, vals, crypts, and floating plants to cover most of the top. There should be shelter everywhere. You don't need carpeting plants, but you'll want to ensure you grow taller plants that will cover all tank levels. Keep an open area in your tank so fish can still swim in the open. Driftwood will also be your friend, adding shelter for diving into if territorial disputes occur. Next, let's talk about Tankmates and how they can help. One of the lesser talked about factors in pulling this off is non-betta tankmates that will distract these fish. We call these fish dithers. These are going to be schooling fish that are going to move around the tank and keep your bettas distracted by their movements. The best fish for this type of setup are going to be Cory catfish. A school of Cories will sweep the bottom of the tank and can be kept in larger numbers without causing territorial disputes. Another good fish to consider are middle swimming schooling fish like hardy black neon tetras. These fish are muted in color, yet will swim around the middle part of your tank. Okay, next is diet, which would greatly impact their health. Diet is often used to influence breeding. Providing a high-quality, protein-rich food selection is a popular method for hobbyists to use to encourage spawning. While it's still recommended to give your male and female fish the best food possible, live food is especially preferred. Live food like insects, bloodworms, and shrimp distract your betta fish while providing enrichment. If they're too concentrated on a delicious meal, then there's no time to be aggressive toward each other. Live food can be expensive and fattening though, and can't be given for every feeding. Instead, a high-quality flake and/or pellet can be given at different locations and depths of the aquarium. This is especially true if you have other species that might outcompete your bettas during feeding times. And another thing you need to understand is how their temperament works. Naturally, betta fish do not want to be aggressive towards one another. If you think about their secluded natural habitats and seasonal floodplains and rice paddies, being overly aggressive and defensive to the point of death would greatly impact the overall population. A limited number of available fish in an environment should not be made smaller through interspecies competition. One of the main reasons domesticated bettas are so aggressive in the aquarium hobby is due to selective breeding. Many lineages of betta fish were intentionally bred to demonstrate the most aggression for fighting purposes, hence their secondary common name of Siamese fighting fish. It's also been determined that certain colors of betta, namely those with red pigment genetics, have more of an aggressive nature than others. Ideally, you want male and female betta fish that are alert yet relaxed. They should be inquisitive but not defensive. If you have an overly curious or offensive fish, your setup, as we discussed earlier, will help keep them at their normal behavior. And there we have it. The answer to the question, do male and female betta fish live together in harmony, plus the ways to keep these adorable fish healthy at their finest. I know you're thinking that I'm missing one. Are you waiting for the right Tankmates for this colorful betta? Okay, if you are, then it's time for you to visit our website, www.aquariumstoredepot.com, where you can find the list of suitable Tankmates for this species. Every fish has its own personality, and some combinations won't work together no matter what you do. If you're patient and diligent about your fish's needs, then there's a good chance you can keep male and female betta fish together for the long term. I hope you enjoyed learning from this topic we prepared just for you. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also binge watch our videos or pay a visit to some of these videos right in front of your screen. We'll get together soon on another fun yet exciting aqua topic, fish keepers. I'll see you around, and as always, thanks for watching.